Okay, let me share my thoughts about Clarence Thomas, who's married to Ginni Thomas. Clarence Thomas has a problematic situation. He has a problematic situation at home, and he has a problematic situation in the public. And it's my business because my tax dollars, those dollars pay for Clarence Thomas to have a good life, to have a good income. But we got a problem. Here's the problem. Ginni Thomas, his wife, has routinely been involved with groups and organizations that her husband has to rule on. He has not done the noble thing and recused himself of these cases. This stretches back years. But the latest, Ginni Thomas admitted not too long ago that she did in fact attend the January 6th rally that turned into a terrorist attack against the U.S. Capitol. She went to the Stop the Steal rally. That's important. Now, does she have the right to go there? Of course. Does she have the freedom to go there? Of course. But something doesn't add up. Remember, she only admitted she went there 1 year after that attack, which means she went there disguised, which also means she kept it hidden intentionally. And if you went there and you believed your cause was righteous and noble, why hide it? Why go there in disguise? Why trick individuals? And it's not because she's Ginni Thomas. It's because she has access to a United States Supreme Court justice. But now we have more information. You know, it seems as if Ginni Thomas exhibits a cult-like behavior. But guess what? She actually was in a cult, LifeSpring to be exact, years ago.
I was in LifeSpring, and I was what I considered to be deprogrammed.
She calls herself deprogrammed, but is she? She has traded in my opinion, LifeSpring for QAnon or LifeSpring for the Trump cult. And yes, you know that many who support Trump engage in a cult-like behavior. It has now been exposed. In addition to her background as a cult member, in addition to her problematic connection to organizations her husband is ruling on, in addition to attending the January 6th terrorist attack, in addition to all of that, there's something else. Ginni Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, was also involved in trying to get the White House to overturn democracy. New information came out, clearly shows text messages between her and Chief of Staff Meadows. He was Chief of Staff during the Trump administration. In one of those text messages, she tells Meadows that Meadows needs to stop this talking about the peaceful transfer of power that's constitutionally mandated and protects our democracy from pure mayhem. She says, Meadows, you need to do something. This is about God. Well, that sounds like a cult-like behavior. That's a cultic language. She was involved in these things. Do you find it to be a coincidence that Clarence Thomas was the only dissent on the U.S. Supreme Court in a case that dealt with the January 6th investigation? He was the only dissent. All of the conservatives and left-leaning justices agreed on one thing. Donald Trump's executive power cannot extend beyond his presidency, but for some reason, Clarence Thomas decided otherwise in his ruling. He was the lone dissent, which is rare, by the way, for Justice Thomas. You think it's just a coincidence that his dissent magically aligns with the sentiment of his wife? Well, they want you to believe that his wife does not talk with her husband. She has actually said things like this on record. No, they don't really talk about these things. They just keep them separate. I had a conversation a few days ago with conservative radio personality and media executive, Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong, who's friends with the Thomases, he said that Ginni does not talk to Clarence, does not talk to the justice, really. So they want us to believe that somehow all of these rulings that his wife is connected to by way of organization or presence, that all of these rulings are done without any conversation between Justice Thomas and his wife, Ginni Thomas. You see, the left should be outraged, but the right should be outraged as well. I guarantee you, if this were a left-leaning justice, every Republican would have that justice on their target list. They would say it is time to impeach. It is time to remove. Here's a bigger problem. Who polices the United States Supreme Court? Well, really, nobody. Doesn't sound much like a check and balance, does it? Just my thoughts.